Hello and welcome to the Daily Gas for June 21st, 2025, called Emerald Isle by Philip Newman. Normal Sudoku rules apply. German whispers, digits and cells directly connected by a line must differ by at least 5. So, what does that mean? Well, if we take a look here, 5 is a very special digit when it comes to German whispers. That's because 5, when differed by at least 5, yields you 0 on the low end and 10 on the high end. So what 5 does is it splits the digits 1 to 9 into a set of low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a set of high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, where any of these high digits, when differed by at least 5, will yield one or more of the low digits, and the same is true in reverse. So German whispers tend to lend themselves pretty nicely to color coding, where you color code the lows and the highs, because any low along the line will have two highs next to it, and those highs will have lows, and those lows will have highs all the way around. So we get a nice oscillating pattern. Um, and I notice we have a lot of similar digits symmetrically placed, so we'll get into that when we jump right into it, because those were the rules. All right, well, it looks like Philip has given us some X windmill to think about. Well, I guess, okay, first things first, easy part, let's place the 5 in the center. That 5 does go in the center there because that is the only cell in this box, row, even column, that doesn't contain a German whisper or another digit. So that has to be our 5, because 5 will never go in the German whisper. Then what do we want to consider? Okay, well, like I said, we see these opposite pairs, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 8, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6. German whispers are one of those variants that when they are symmetrically placed, which these emeralds are, um, they allow for X windmill symmetry to come into play. So let's start by placing the 2s, the 8s. The 2s, can we get more than that? We actually can. I was going to say we couldn't because there's nothing else to do, like here, for example, but we actually can place 2 along here. 2 has to go in one of those 2 cells, and because we know there's an oscillating low-high pattern, this cell is high, so this is low, this is high, so this is going to be low. Same thing is true in reverse with the 8 here. That actually does give us our 2 now. Oh, and something that I was, oh, it's a Discord, sorry, Discord notification there. Um, so something I was looking at here was the 5 placement in these boxes, but now, because how we're getting the 2 here, we're also going to get the 8 here. What that does for us is it tells us 5 goes in one of these cells, 5 goes in one of these cells, so 5 will end up in one of these 2 cells. It kind of limits us a little bit more, not severely, but it is interesting. So I guess I thought I was going to place a digit, but it doesn't. That's fine, but it's something for us to consider. I guess actually this is a 2-5 pair, interestingly enough, now that I'm looking at it from this perspective. So maybe that is interesting down the line. Hmm. I'm not quite sure of the implications of that yet. 2 going somewhere here. The same is true over here with like the 8-5 and the 8 somewhere there. Hmm. Well, really what I should be paying attention to is the 4s and the 6s, because 4s and 6s on German whispers are interesting because they can only sit next to 9s and 1s respectively. 4 would have, like, let's say magically this was a 4, then this would have to be double 9. And if this was a 6, this would have to be double 1. But it seems like there are a lot of ways for us not to put 6s on German whispers. Oh, and actually, wait a second. 6, this kind of intersection here, says 6 has to go in one of these cells, but any of these cells would necessitate double ones that see each other. So this actually has to be the 6, which means all of that we were looking at with the 5s is doesn't do anything because we would have ended up with that anyways. Does the same thing happen with the 4s and the 6s in the opposite corners? Like 4 here. I guess if this is 4, this could be double 9. We don't know the orders of the low highs here yet, do we? Even considering these cells, like we know this is low, but this could be 1 or 3. Similarly, this could be 7 or 9. Hmm. Oh, but this 6, there we go. This gives us a 6 in the corner there. We get a 4 in the corner there. And now why that's interesting is what? 6 here, here, 6 in these two cells. In these 3 cells, I think it's always when I'm on my laptop, I have all sorts of weird stuff happening. I got some pop-ups there. I don't know if you guys were able to hear me, but um, because we don't know the 6 placement, would it be really nice to be able to remove that as an option? But 6 here, double 1, I don't see a problem. Hmm. So what am I not considering? Maybe I do need to think about what this would look like if it were color-coded and consider highs and lows. Like here, these corners are kind of interesting because these would require either triple high or triple low. And because we know the placement of 4, 2, this must be high, which means these are low. And wherever the 3 goes, okay, wherever the 3 goes requires 8 and 9 next to it, which means if this is 3, then this would have to be 8. And if this is 3, then this would have to be 8, which means no matter what, this is 8. And then similarly, that same logic gets us a 2 over there. Then the 3, 9 or 3, 9, I don't know from there, but the 1 allows for either 6 or 7. And actually, 7 in this cell would look the same as 6 because you can't have the 1, 2 pair. It would have to be double 1 here anyways. And I guess the same is true here, right? If this is 1, this is 7, then this is also 1. But wait a second. But now that we've placed a low and a high along the line, the loop, I guess, then we know where highs and lows must go. So like, for example, this is going to be low, which means these are our 2 lows. And, oh no, I was going to say which of these can't be 3, but actually either of them could be 3, but with double 9. Just like we were saying, the 7 and the 6 work the same with double 1s, the 3 works the same with the double 9. 3 and 4. Actually, we should just, because we placed this 8, we know the order 8, 5, 2, 5, because that was the last 8 and the last 2. Doesn't really do much for us on the 5 front because 5 will go in one of these 2 cells. Oh, wait, maybe that does because 5 in one of these 2 cells and 5 in one of these 2 cells means this has to be 5 and that would be 5, which, yes, that's all that does. It's something. Again, the problem with 3 here is you could have double 9. Or 1 with double 7. How do I figure out which? This will be 1, 3 here. Oh, well, that's interesting, right? Because then this is a 1, 3 pair. Which means 4 has to go here. And that means 6 has to go there. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Then that gives us 4 here. That gives us 6 here. And that means by Sudoku, this is actually 4. Why was I looking at that as a 1, 3? I guess it could have always been 4 and 3 could have been off. I don't think that would impact anything because what we were considering is lows and highs. And we knew that 2 had to go. Yeah, I don't think that impacted the logic overall, but it maybe was not as clean as it should have been. But the 4 now forces the double 9, the 6 forces the double 1. We do get the 7 here with the 1. And yeah, here this is the 3 with the 9. Then this is simply 3 here. This is 7 here. And I think with all of that, we should just come together because this has to be high, so it has to be 9. This can be low, it has to be 1. This can't be 6, 8, or 9, so it must be 7. This must be 3. Across, we're only missing our 5, so this will be 5. 5 necessitates 5. Then from the column, we should probably be able to place it. 1, 7, 9. This will be 1, 9, 7. This will be 3, 9, and 1. And should almost be done, right? This is going to be 5 there. This is going to be 5 here. This is 7. This is 3. 7 will require the 1. 3 will require the 9. Then this is 3. This is 7. This is 7. This is 3. This is 1. This is 9. This is 7. This is 3. This is 1, 9, 7, and 3. And we are done in 12 minutes and 12 seconds with Emerald Isle by Philip Newman. So definitely another one of these puzzles where color coding, if you were a little less stubborn than me, would have been quite helpful. But we were able to identify the 1, 3 pair across, which let us place the 4, and everything fell into place from there. So as always, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.